G'day guys, how's it going? This is Jordan. Welcome back to Hitman 3. So today we're taking our first look at the Berlin level, which is Apex Predator. Bit of an unusual mission, this one. We have no handler, so we can't have any mission stories, so we don't have to go with our first look on professional difficulty. What am I talking about? So yeah, I always get confused because master difficulty in Hitman 1 was called professional difficulty, and now professional difficulty is the medium difficulty level and master is the old professional difficulty. But anyway, the whole point of, by the way, that is the scummiest looking bloody bus stop I've ever seen. The whole point of what I was saying there is that there's no mission stories available because we have no handler, because Diana is MIA. So we're going with master difficulty for our first look on this one right off the bat. The first thing we're going to do is check out this bloody antique. Could get a good price for that bastard on Bargain Hunt, don't you worry about that. Now we've also got some black utility vehicles out the back here looking very suspicious. And we were trying to contact Olivia there, but we have no signal. Or I should say she's not picking up. We have no signal. Where was that coming from? So these are very ICA looking vehicles. 47's assassin sensors are tingling. So my first impressions of this level, I'm really enjoying it. It's a huge level, and there's a lot of different areas to it, and with the approach that we take today, we barely scratch the surface of it. I basically go around the perimeter of the level in this video. I don't really go inside to the actual club at all, really. So there's a huge amount of stuff to explore in this level. Now, obviously, this bloke over here started exploring the forest. He got a bit tuckered out, so he sat down to make himself some butter and toast. His hands got all slippery and he slipped with the butter knife and jammed it into his own bloody neck. And unfortunately, that did him in. That was the end of that bloke. So we're walking up towards the actual club by the cooling towers over here. And this is where things start to get interesting.
We've been compromised. Abort and walk away now.
Who?
ICA. They tracked me. Don't know how.
It's what they do. How many?
One prime asset and a whole pack of up-and-comers. They've infiltrated the club searching for us. Christ, I think I killed one of them. Get out now before they spot you.
No. They found us once. They'll find us again. Keep your head down. I'll take care of this.
Okay. Isn't there a foreboding atmosphere in this mission, hey? So here's where I noticed there was a bloke walking along by the rock here, which is always a bad sign in these levels.
Sorry, reception is bad out here.
Tell me about it, mate.
Joe, can you hear me? Yeah,
So
it's still quiet out here. No
I went to pacify this bloke, and then I remembered, oh yeah, he's actually a target, so we can chuck a knife straight at the back of his head. So if people find the body, they'll think it was a buttering accident, like the bloke up the hill there. Get me bloody knife back. Now, the whole reason why I went around
This is like looking for a needle in a
hello.
haystack.
Just keep trying, Agent Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery.
Our client considers Agent 47 and Olivia Hall as a serious threat. You can't underestimate them.
Get stuck on a tree, why not?
I never do, Joe. We'll find them.
Pull your finger out your ass, Montgomery, alright?
Report back to me if there's anything.
Don't worry.
So, I initially took another first look at this level, and I went into the club. So there's an opportunity in the car park here where you can help a drug dealer find his drugs, and he gets you into the club. But unfortunately, in that first look, I was wandering around the club for about 40 minutes, didn't find any targets, and it was extremely boring watching. So that explains why this shortcut door on the side here is open, because I actually found that door on my first playthrough. The lost playthrough, because it was boring as batshit. So I decided to take a different approach for this one. I thought if I didn't find any targets in the areas of the club that I visited, maybe I'll find some targets up on the roof. And boy, did that strategy pay off. So this bloke is not a target. There's going to be a very weird thing that happens here when I try to distract him with the crowbar. So I go under the stairs here, and I try to throw the crowbar past him, and it just sort of drops like a turd. And then he's clearly looking at me through these stairs, but for some reason, some cracker. Fair enough. He can't see us through those very clear gaps in the stairs, so I don't know what is going on with this area, but anyway, it worked in our favour, so good night, champ. I was also regretting my choice to knock him out here because there was no crates to hide him in, so I have to drag him all the way down to the car park. You'll notice that I get less fussy as this mission goes on about hiding the bodies, and it works out pretty well for me. So I drag him all the way down the bloody stairs, out into the car park. I drag him past a very convenient crate and drag him towards a crate that's more out in the open that could have got me caught straight away. So there's the one out in the open that could get me caught. There's the crate I could have used right there. Good stuff. That's observation skills for you. I do notice it on the way back and think, oh shit. Anyway, shit happens. So we're going up onto the roof, and very early on here I discover the secret to spotting these undercover ICA agents. And the geniuses that they are, they're disguised as club security, but they've got Vector submachine guns strapped to their backs with all sorts of laser targeting mods all over them. So the weaponry that they have is just suspiciously flash for some glorified bouncers. So I see a guy up on the ledge up here in a minute, once I stop buggering around collecting lead pipes. You're going to get lead poisoning carrying all that shit around with your 47. So I climb up the ladder here, very well disguised ladder in the graffiti. And there is a guard here, and I thought, gee, he's got a nice weapon. It's not this guy, is it? No. There's another bloke. Once I get this bloke out of the way, there's another guard who leans over the railing, and that's when I noticed he's very well equipped. That's what his missus told me as well. Now, do I bother hiding this bloke? Yeah, I do. Oh, look at me go. I think I'll just drag him around the corner here. Is there a crate up there? Yes, there is. Oh, that's convenient. Yes, there's. You may have just caught, in the instinct view, you may have just caught a glimpse of the guard that I'm talking about. He's over to the left here. So I took a close look at this bloke. I was just about to distract him, and then I realised the very flash hardware he's got on his back, so I decided to take a chance. And then once we heard the squelch of the earpiece, and the fact that he dropped the lockpick, sorry, not a lockpick, the concealable knife, I thought to myself, maybe I should just test and see if this bloke's actually a target. Yes, he is. So the first two targets here...
Agent Green, are you still there?
Here we go. Hello, Jow. How you doing, love? So I took a bit of a punt on this bloke. I thought it was strange. Here we go. Thank you very much.
Don't make this personal or you'll get sloppy. And clearly, he's not making that mistake.
Yeah, that's right, love. So with this guy, I thought it was unusual that he was carrying this sort of hardware on his back, so there was a little bit of deductive reasoning here. The next target that I find coming up very soon, not this bloke. This bloke's just in my way. Here I decided to take a punt and see if this bag of bricks is placed here above this bloke's head for a good reason, but I missed him anyway, so I thought, okay, time to move on. But I think that bloke is the target. Usually, if the elusive targets in the other two games have taught me anything, it's that if a seemingly random NPC keeps wandering over into these areas where there's an easy environmental assassination, that tells you that they're your target. And I'll put that to the test coming up here in just a minute. Once I chuck this bloke over a windowsill and put him in a crate. So we run across the sky bridge here spanning these two buildings. Once I checked to see if he had anything interesting on him. Come on, 47. Oh, free can of paint. Grab that bastard. That'll save me a trip to Bunnings. So I'm looking over the courtyard. I noticed this. I didn't know what this building was over here, but this is the bikie headquarters. So we're going to have a bit of a closer look here. And the bikie headquarters is an absolute gold mine for finding targets. The place is full of bloody targets. So I'm going to move up to the roof here. And I'm going to notice over in the distance that there's a guy who, first of all, is leaning against a scooter, which you can blow up for an easy environmental accident kill. There's a bag of bricks that would be in his path. And then there's also that giant suspended piece of piping up there that he walks directly under. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance that this bloke is a target, because there are so many opportunities to get this bloke with accident kills on his path here. So he's the guy right there at the corner. I think I get a closer look at him with the camera. Yes, we do. I think he's one of the club staff. Well, he's disguised as one of the club staff. He's actually a dirty, bloody ICA agent. So he's going to come back on his path, and I decide I'm going to take a risk here and see if it pays off. I'm going to try and take him out with the piece of piping. So I think he starts his lap back very shortly. Come on, mate. There he is. So he went past that scooter. That was an opportunity to get him with an environmental kill, and he walks directly under this thing, which he might as well just be screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'm a target," while he's walking. Here we go. Boom. Look at that. Now there's going to be a cut here, but it's because I decided to put in a save, because I was really testing my luck. I think up in the doorway here there'll be a cut where I made a save, because I thought I've really tried the lucky approach twice.
We're paying for our mistakes with blood. Stop wasting time and end this.
That's right. There we go. There's the cut. So I decided I'll put a save point here just in case the rest of it isn't quite as lucky. So we're on top of what I now know is the drug labs. And the fellas have bricked up the doorways, because that's something that you do. So I have to actually find some stairs leading down. And once we actually get down into this area, we find a lot of targets. And I also put a save in here because I didn't know how many actual targets there were. Oh my god, woman, shut
You
up.
might be listening in. There's no other explanation for it. Go silent, we can't risk it.
I wish you would go fucking silent, love. I just got rid of Diana talking in my ear all the bloody time. Now you've taken over. Now I wanted to see if I could ET this bicycle past the moon here, but apparently you can't. We can't get up onto the ramp. That's disappointing. Makes me wonder if there's a hidden exit involving that somehow. So I'm going to come down the stairs here. We get into this building, and this whole section is basically a drug facility run by the Ragnarok something or other bikie club. There's a guy here that I decide to get out of the way. He's not a target, but I wanted to move through this area pretty freely, and he is an enforcer, so I decided to lure him with a gun. It took me a couple of attempts, because for some reason the bikies in this area are really bloody hard to lure with guns on the ground. They tend to just ignore them and say, "Come on, there's nothing suspicious here." I was also really testing his hearing there. He's miles away. I don't know why I thought that coin would work. I think I was trying to pull somebody up from below here. Didn't work. So I'm going to wait for... There he is. That's where he becomes a pain in the ass, so I decided to get him out of my way. So I think I'm going to speed this up. Nothing, mate? No? Maybe get your hearing checked, buddy. Been spending too much time in the nightclub over there. Your hearing is a fact.
What?
So that will drag him over to that section, and I think we throw a paint can to drag him further in.
Checking it out. Over.
Yeah, take your time, mate. Don't rush. Here we go. Now we just wait for that question mark to disappear. There we go. So now he's no longer distracted, so we can distract him again. There we go. Come on, mate. Oh, look at that. Bloody hell, 47's got some acceleration on him. Now this bloke actually spotted the gun. Good for you, mate. So, yeah, I almost get into trouble a couple of times because I was trying to use the same trick on the targets of getting them to notice a gun and move towards it. And the targets, for some reason, were just ignoring the guns and saying, oh, there's nothing suspicious here, and not bothering to go and pick them up. Which was not friendly when you're trying to bloody kill them. So I'm just trying to stash this guy in the corner because there's actually not a lot of areas where you can hide bodies in this building. Not without taking the risk of dragging them past other guards. So I decide I'm going to drop this AK just in an open area, so if somebody does wander around up here, they'll get distracted by that before finding the unconscious fella. We're going to come down on top of the drug lab here, and this is the first thing that made me think there's a target in the area of that very safely stored bag of bricks right on the edge there. It made me think, okay, there's an opportunity to get a target in this area. There's also a camera there that we need to get rid of. With me shitty hackle covert. Not a bloody patch on a silver baller, that thing. So now here's where I notice underneath us over there, there's a guard with one of the vectors, or raptors as they're known in this game. So this is where I drop down and try to sort of see his patrol route and see where we can get a hit going on him. Oh, mate. You boys have been busy. And pick myself up some party favors. So the target that we just spotted actually moves through this area. So I use a distraction just outside this lab to pull him away from the other guys. Ooh, cheeky crowbar. Bloody oath. And I also decide to just get rid of this guy over in this area, just in case he decides to get in the way. Now, there was a ventilation system on the side of the lab, and I just picked up some insecticide. Now, that's an approach I want to try and use on another playthrough of this level. But because I still had my silent assassin going in this one, I didn't want to bugger around. I also thought these were body stashing crates. They're not. They're the crates from the Isle of Scale map that you can break open that have random objects inside of them. So, not much use for me there. I think I do actually break them open. I think one of them has a golden idol, and the other one had... What did the other one have? Oh, I remember. I'll leave it as a surprise, though. So there's the golden idol. Over here we have our second. This is probably the most useful tool I've ever found in the game. Come on. Now you got to go around, mate, for some stupid reason. Garden fork. Look at that, mate. Now I can go and cultivate their dope plants for him. So this is the bloke I'm talking about. This is our target. I'm going to speed this up because it took me quite a while to get him to actually get distracted. He kept wandering off. You bastard. So here's where I try to do it with this bloke's shotgun. I try to distract him with the fella's shotgun. Eventually I do actually get him out here, but he just completely ignores the shotgun. So I have to move in and kill him quite quickly before he starts to go back into the drug lab. Come on, mate. Come on. That's it. Here. So he's looking directly at the shotgun. He could not give a fat rat's clacker about it. Could not give less of a shit. Yeah, nothing to worry about, mate. Just a random pump shotgun on the ground. Yeah, don't even worry about it. You deserve that, mate. So that's 4. Now, I didn't know it at the time. I had no idea how many targets you... Oh, hello, Jow. How you doing, love?
That makes 4.
Yes, thank you.
If you make it out of this debacle, you'll be the laughing stocks of the ICA.
Oh, bloody oath they are. So it's actually, we only need one more target, but I didn't know it at the time. So I was trying to stash these bodies in out of the way areas for long enough that they wouldn't be noticed. But I was very nervous because I left so many bodies just in random corners. I was so nervous that at any minute some random bloody guard would go walking along and spot them, because it is master difficulty. That sort of thing happens a lot. I was also worried about that guy walking up there. But then I thought, bugger it. Let's just keep moving. If we just ignore it, I'm sure the problem will just solve itself. There's also a couple of cameras up here above these doorways. So we need to take care of those, because I have no idea where the camera controls are on this map, because it is the first proper run through that I've had of it. So I didn't want to deal with going to look for the security office. There's also another camera above this door, I believe. Here I was just using instinct to try and see what sort of weapons blokes were knocking around with on their backs. I was looking for some raptors. I keep trying to say vectors. Which is a very, very easy way to spot your targets. I'm sure some of them are just carrying around silenced pistols, so maybe there's some that are more hidden. So we're going to go through the back way here. Don't worry about the bloody lead pipe. Enough with the lead pipes. You've got 50 bloody lead pipes on you. You're rattling all over the bloody joint. Don't worry about them. Okay, so here's where we find our last target. Right on the other end of this area. Ooh, cheeky rat poison, mate. Go for that. So this is where they're actually packaging the drugs and shipping them off. Sweet. Box cutter, mate. That's handy. This bloke's not a target, but I do get him out of the way later because I want to use this area as a spot for an assassination. Spoiler alert. There's a camera above that door, which was very hard to spot. I only knew it was there because I saw the grid on the ground. It's alright, mate. Don't worry about it. It's just one of those random camera explosions. You know how that goes. Alrighty. So I'm going to move through this area, having a look to see if there is a target, and we do find one right at the other end. So these boys are getting into it. This bloke's burning nutcrackers, as you do. Good job, mate. Had to go back and make sure exactly what it is he's burning. Good stuff, buddy. Fuck Christmas, I agree. So we have a target right there. That enforcer closest to us is an actual undercover ICA agent, because he's got a very flash looking weapon on his back. So he's going to start wandering off on his patrol, and that's when we realize he separates himself pretty well at the other end of his circuit. Isn't that right, mate? I think he actually confirms himself as a target here. Yes, he does. Lowenthal.
47 on my end.
He's here. He has to be. Don't get comfortable.
Yeah, mate. So here's where we just sort of trail him and see exactly where his circuit leads him. I'll tell you where it leads him. To the grave. So I decide that the best area to have an attempt on this bloke is down here by the forklift, because there's just that one bloke moving back and forth, which will give us the best chance to actually get this bloke by himself. Cocaine brick. Thank you very much, boys. I'll take care of that one. Wait, language, mate. So he's going to head off. I'm going to use this time to clear the area. Very simple. I don't think anybody can see through the wall of this loading bay here. So we're going to chuck the coin. Wait for him to go get himself some pocket change. Go for it, mate. You go get yourself a soda on your smoko. I also dropped that pistol to try and distract the target. Doesn't work. I don't think distracting the targets with dropped weapons works on this map, which is fine. There we go. So we don't really have to bother with that bloke at all. He's dropped in a pretty good place. The other bloke is coming around now. Good old Lowenthal. Him and 47 were thick as thieves at one point, but now it's all gone to shit. Did you not? No. Lowenthal, of course, Lowenthal's deafness has held him back as an agent. There we go, that's better. The bloke in the other room heard that before you did. That's how bad your hearing is, Lowenthal. Won't be a problem for much longer, mate. Wouldn't worry about it. So here's where he comes over. He's not distracted by the pistol whatsoever, so I have to move over quite quickly and deal with him. It's actually quite risky, the approach that I take. I throw the hobby knife, and I could have been spotted by those guys in the room. If I'd taken one more step, I would have been in their vision range. So that was a little bit risky. Now, I think there's a bit of a bug going on with this map, because this killing the 5 agents, yes, just random. I don't know where that came from. When you've killed the 5 targets, it triggers an evacuation, so all the other undercover targets leave the map. So they're all bugging out and running out. Now, I get spotted. One of the agents is running behind me. I didn't realize, oh, there's a shortcut door, by the way. Cheeky shortcut door, which leads us out. Now, as I'm moving out past this area, past this truck, if you look on the map, you can see somebody running up behind me. That's one of the agents leaving. Now, he fully spots me right there. He spotted me. But he just keeps running, and it doesn't count. Now, I don't know if that's intentional or if that's a bug on this map. I have no idea. But that should have lost me Silent Assassin right there. But it didn't. And I'm going to count it. But yeah, that's really strange. That's really, really strange that once the evacuation is triggered, I got spotted by that guy. That guy fully spotted me. And nothing came of it. Not going to complain about it, but there it was. Bit of an anomaly. So yeah, that's it. That was our first look at Berlin. It was my first proper run through the level. Like I said, I did a very, very aborted first attempt at it, which just was not watchable. It was terrible. But we got through it. So on our first try, we got Silent Assassin.
You killed all of them?
He sure bloody did.
Where are you?
Diner. Up the main road.
On my way.
See you there, Olivia. Try not to bleed out while I'm on my way. So there we go, Silent Assassin. And this is just the Scout, the Professional. These are all the agents that we actually killed. I think there's like 11 in total that you can kill on the map. And I think you can kill all of them if you're fast enough. There we go. So a good chunk of experience on that one. Only led me to about, I think, 5 mastery, 4 or 5. The mastery builds up a lot slower in Hitman 3, which is fine. It encourages you to go back and play the maps more. But there we go. So that is Silent Assassin, Master Difficulty, and our first look at Berlin. I don't know why it says 0 up there, by the way. The connection must have disconnected or something during the mission, but yeah. Apparently I'm level 0 now. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you liked the episode, please leave a like. If you'd like to help me grow the channel, consider subscribing. Any hints, any tips, any comments that you may have, chuck it down in the comments and I'll give it a look. But apart from that, once again, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time in Hitman 3. Thanks, guys. Bye.